Here we go. Sometimes they want to work, sometimes they don't. And y'all building the world, they're gonna be in trouble. Tough. But we live, man. Yeah, ain't no good. Me. Here we go. No distractions. But welcome back to No Cap, man. It's slowly building, man. The conversation slowly building. Not not in the nooks and crannies or anything. Not getting down to brass tacks yet, but slowly getting there. If you never watched any of the old videos, look back because each one isn't just an individual episode. They all tie together. Like weaving a basket, man. Going one weave at a time. So eventually, we got us a nice picnic basket. Feel me? But going into no role models today, brought it up. And it's real, real imperative that the conversation from yesterday leads into today because the people that are gatekeeping or the people who are fact checking, if they're role models and they stand for something and they're people that you would aspire to be or that you would like the younger generation to aspire to be, then by default, you automatically make the rules that they're upholding and the structure that they represent, they automatically become important. What you do, why you do it, how you do it, all of those things are imperative. Why is it important for role models, bro? Because with being a role model, the best role models are the ones who are self-aware and not just like my name is, I'm from, I like, nah, real self-aware. Like this is what's important to me. This is why it's important to me. Here are my goals. And all the way through, I know exactly what decision to make, whether I come up on the situation or not. I know what decision I'm gonna make just because I know where I stand. I can see my journey from the end to the beginning. So looking at present day decisions with hindsight, that's that's the self-awareness that's required. And when you have that level of self-awareness, then subconsciously everybody else around you is gonna, all right, bet. You know what's important to you. I need to know what's important to me because what's important to you, what your goals are, and the decisions that you make to achieve your goals, that's what defines your character. So when we're on the discussion of role models, right? If you were to think about it, who are the biggest role models in the world right now? You don't have to name specific like categories or roles of people. You can just think about individuals. Who are the five biggest role models that you can think of in the world, whether they impact you or not? Are they celebrities? Are they professionals? Family? Rappers? Athletes? Movie actors? Actresses? Or business people? Content creators? I mean, the list goes on. Think about who the five most influential people are. Now, for those who like to do deep dives and are really intent on learning about these things and people, you can start thinking about, all right, any interviews I watched them, what were their goals? What were they after? What were their intentions? But for those that are like, it's just conversation for conversation's sake, what do you see from their actions? What are they after? What does it look like they're after you? The currency, is it checking off goals from a checklist? Is it experience, life experiences, expanding their horizons, or is it connecting, like interacting with people? And with currency is the sticky one because it could be money, could be notoriety, could be attention. There's different ways to measure it. Some some role models out here, their only goal is I need as much attention as possible. Eventually, it could turn to money, but I need you to watch me. I need you to know what I'm doing. Example: Kardashians. Easy. More than money, they control attention. That's big. Like folks are always paying attention to what they're doing. There's money moves, whether it's TV, whether it's just living life in the public eye, things that they don't make any money off of. Just, hey, just so you know, boom, boom, boom. But to some people, those are role models. So with the discussion of role models, the biggest discussion or the biggest point of emphasis is what are they after? Because things that they emphasize, the people who follow them are going to emphasize that as well. And the people who follow someone else's path instead of taking their own, they always take shortcuts to be in the same position. Your path isn't the same as somebody else's. So in order to get where they're at, you're not going to go through the same things they went through. For example, rap music, big. At the beginning, it was just entertainment. We all like to party. So I'm gonna perform in order to keep the party going. After that, man, I'm really interested in the lyrics and wordplay. Let me figure out just how talented I can get. And then it turns into competition from entertainment. Then from competition, you realize, dang, it has influence. How can I get my influence out? How can I reach people, connect with them? And then past that, where we at right now, in the thick of it is, man, with that influence, you make a lot of money. So not about wordplay. It's not about partying. It's not about entertainment. It's not about connecting. It's about how much money can I make. And rap music is very influential. Rap artists are very influential. But what are their intentions? The intentions isn't to tell you about a story. It isn't for you to have a good time. It's, hey, let me put this out here and make as much money as I can. And that's that's kind of tough because it shows itself, and it shows itself in very apparent manners because you'll have artists who drop one album, make so much money, hey, I'm not rapping no more. Or you'll have some where, shoot, I'll say whatever on the song with whoever in order to get paid. And you got some where I'll say something and I'll build this image, I'll build the persona, but then when it comes to being a celebrity and people track their life, man, what you said isn't matching up with what you doing. And that's where we at with role models right now. Because role models aren't being determined by intention, they're being determined by influence. Is follow the leader instead of are you a leader? We in a fucked up space. Like there's nowhere to beat around the bush. Because for me, for example, I'm of the mindset that everything that you digest is gonna play a part in what your life is, or everything that you do. So if I'm listening to music and the message is of a certain thing, if you hear it enough, you're gonna think it. If you're thinking enough, you're gonna act on it. And if you are being preached something by somebody who doesn't even represent what they are basically brainwashing you into, you getting sent up the river. is you're gonna be down bad because folk are creating a false image of their reality and you making it your reality. And because they don't live that, they can't tell you the pitfalls because I'm not there to experience that. And it's nasty. It's nasty work. That's where folk are at when it comes to choosing role models. I'm picking somebody with the most influence. The currency of the day is attention. So whoever's getting the most attention, that's the person I want to be like. Attention and intention are completely independent of each other. Just because you get one doesn't mean the other is tied to it. Or just because you have one doesn't mean that the other is automatically going to be baked into it. And there used to be multiple role models because people have different interests. When it comes to being active, these are the hobbies that I participate in, and this is the person who's at the pinnacle of that. When it comes to entertainment, this is my type of entertainment, and this is the person that represents that the best. When it comes professionally, this is my career field, and this is the person at the top of that. Excuse me. Or this is who works where I work, and this person is in charge there. When it comes to family wise, I like how that family is set up or how this family is set up. So I aspire to be like that person. For every different environment you put yourself in, there's going to be somebody that's going to influence you. So that person is your role model in that sense. And we're becoming more simple because not getting in different spaces. Instead, I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. Shoot, if I can just do this thing right here, everything else will unfold how it needs to. And it ain't hard work. Ain't never been hard work. But if somebody is selling you a dream and they building you a beach house in Idaho, and all you know is they've sold it to you and it's everything that you wanted and more. And until you get there that you realize, oh, look what I've done. But at that point, the folks who bought the BS, they're not warning others not to do it. Instead, they stuck with it. So now they trying to sell it to the next one. So I'm gonna sell to the next person until eventually everybody wants these. So everybody's moving in that direction. Everybody's moving to the Mountain West, buying up real estate in Idaho, and nobody wants to be there. I'm gonna trick you out your spot so I can get away. Now, once I've tricked 10 people into coming, shoot, ain't got nothing to do with me. These are the role models. And it comes full circle because the word that pops up when you think of role models today, for me, the word tends to be manipulative because to get what you're aspiring for, folks are taking shortcuts. So that means that I'm gonna be more desperate in my actions in order to get to the spot that I'm looking in. So I'll allow multiple people to get the short end of the stick, and I'm going to use them as the bridge to get to my goal, which is to be like them. So instead of walking your path, walking your journey, you burying 20 people and walking over their bodies to get to somebody else's lane. And then you're trying to figure out why the experience is different for them, for you. Ain't no shortcuts in life, but that's a lesson the role model is supposed to teach you. You're supposed to have your end goal in mind and then have your character in mind of who you want to be remembered as or who you want to be treated as on your way to your end goal, and that shapes all your decision making. Don't think about it like that. Instead, the people who are, I can't even say at the end of their journeys, the people who are at the end of others' fantasies, you at somebody else's finish line. You don't have to explain how you got there. You just need to allow me to see it so I can get there. And that's the wildest thing about it, because in a lot of places or in a lot of situations, you are putting someone on a pedestal for things that they've accomplished, and what they accomplished or what they are accomplishing wasn't even their goal. So a lot of times, in order to make a lot of money, money can't be the end goal. If it is the end goal, 9 times out of 10, you done did some shady shit on the way. Because for the folk that are devout in chasing their end goal, they had a completely different set of goals on their checklist, and everything that people are lauding them for are just symptoms of them chasing those goals. Jeff Bezos' job isn't to make billions of dollars. My job is to establish my company. Steve Jobs, my job is to develop this technology in this company so that it is imaginative and keeps creativity at the forefront. And money is a symptom. Early rap, hey, my skill is what I want to be celebrated for. But enough people are going to appreciate it that money becomes a symptom. See how you change it from the goal being skill or money to now there is no skill because just the money. How you do anything is how you do everything. And that's huge. But to shift the conversation a little bit, for each individual that ever sees this video, I want you to, whether you want to be one or not, I want you to go into thought and question, with all the decisions you've made, the intent you had behind making those decisions, your view on it now after the fact. Would you consider yourself a role model to anybody? Would you consider yourself a role model? Why or why not? It should be easy to answer too, because there's going to be points that come to mind of, I've done this or I've accomplished that. That's usually how our brain works. It's, man, this trauma, I didn't handle that correctly, or I've accomplished this, and that, or I am this. And that will lead your brain naturally into, yeah, could be, but I'm not. Now, think about how many different situations you're in, how many different environments you maneuver through, how many different people you come in contact with. And then in the social media age, multiply that number of times like 500 at the low end of how many people who could be observing what you're doing and then taking from it, using you as a learning guide. And you go back again and ask the question of, are you a role model? The crazy thing is, no matter where your brain takes you, where your mind takes you, or how the conversation goes in your head or with people around you, the answer is always going to be yes, no matter who it is. Everybody is a role model to somebody. The worst person in the world is a role model to somebody. because that's how humans work. Monkey see, monkey do. Whether it's on the front end or the back end, whether it's negative or positive, people always see the actions of others or hear the opinions of others and then make determinations based on what they perceive from that person. So even if it's of the smallest situation, you in the neighborhood, hanging out with your family, one of your family members' friends slid through, hey man, I just drunk this. I don't mess with that boy. It made my stomach hurt. You not paying attention to them, it's not your friend in your head and in that circle, already been influenced. Hey, this did that to that person. I'm not gonna do that. Even if it's a minuscule level of impact and influence, everybody is somebody else's role model. They're gonna influence you to do one thing or another. In our heads, we think of role models as somebody that's on the pedestal of this is what I want to accomplish. But role models aren't above you, they're on the same level as you. And you look over and watch them make decisions. And based on their decisions, you move. So for anybody that was like, nah, I'm not one, or I can't be one, or don't want to be one, doesn't matter. You're influencing somebody's decision. And a lot of times you influence a lot of people's decision making. So how do you think that plays out and affects your life? The idea about the village. I don't know if for anybody of a certain age, we used to always hear that it takes a village to raise a child. That means there was a village of role models that had an influence on this one child. It doesn't stop when they grow up to be an adult. There's still a village around that adult. And that's the prism you should see the situation through, where it takes a village for you, or for, in this case I just say for me, it takes a village to impact me and impact my decision making to go in a certain way. But in that same breath, I or you, we're in somebody else's or in multiple people's village as well. So, and it gets around to, do you think that you're a good enough role model to a random stranger that's watching you from afar? Are you being the best version of yourself? Are you making decisions that you can look? If you are a younger version of yourself, are you making decisions that younger you would be proud of? And really, that's simple. This 8-year-old you was watching you and watching your decision making. Just they're on your shoulder at all times. They see what you prioritize. They see what you give credence to. They see where you go. Just watching everything you do as you do it. Would they be proud of you? Why? Why not? The conversation is basically to get to the point where you should have a positive impact on as many people as you can. So you should be a good role model to as many people as you can. And that will flip the state of society on its head, because everybody feels that in a pessimistic world, we're in a negative space, people ain't ish, all of these things are negative because all of these people behave in a negative fashion. Nobody wants to be a role model or have that positive influence on people. It's just, hey, what's for me is for me, and that's how you feel about it. So going back to that analogy of people are willing to bury 20 people on the way to whatever they want. If 20 people bury 20 people on the way to their goals, that's 400 people that got fucked over. Now exacerbate that or extrapolate it to whatever the percentage in your head is of good people to bad people. If you feel, for those who do, if you feel like the world is pessimistic in a bad place, what percentage of people you think are like that? Now multiply whatever number you think that is times 20, and then you'll figure out why you think that it's just a shitty place outside. If you were to do the opposite and one person is positively impacting 20 people, now do that math. It wouldn't feel crazy outside. If every time you went outside in every environment, think about it this way, if everywhere you went at all times, you were surrounded by 20 people who wanted the absolute best for you, how would you feel? It's crazy to think about and crazy to try to consider as well. If you get up, you go to a restaurant in the morning for breakfast, I'm gonna pick up something, and there are 20 people in there who wanted you to have the best breakfast possible for the rest of your day to unfold well. But you feel a certain way. Then you get to work. There are 20 people constantly around you who want you to succeed. They want you in the best position possible. And they're willing to lend themselves and their efforts to you succeeding. You go to the grocery store, man, I need this for dinner. And 20 people are willing to go, all right, bet. This is your plan. Here's how you should go about it. Boom, you're going to be. And in every situation in life, there are 20 people around you that constantly want the best for you. And as long as you know what you want, they're willing to help you get there. Or even if you don't know what you want, you can look at them and make determinations based off them. It'd be crazy. Like the sky is the limit. Or just in this case, use that phrase. But it'd be wild to think about where you could be if you felt the support of 20 people at a time. Everywhere. All the time. So why not try to be one of the 20 people for somebody else? That's really how it starts. People find one person that they want to gravitate to and they want to put their support behind, and you'll be in a good situation. Now, if the person next to you does the same thing and so on and so forth until everybody is constantly going to be in someone else's support group and vice versa, where you're always supported and you're always supportive, everybody will be a role model. And that web that human society is based on and built around, imagine how that would look. But instead, we in a spot where folk like, man, fuck it. I'm looking out for me. And if everybody's looking out for me or looking out for themselves, nobody's doing what's right. Nobody's gonna do what's in the greater good or what's in the interest of others. So instead of a large group of people killing this large animal and making a feast for everybody, is hey, we all gonna rob, steal, we're gonna rob, cheat, steal each other for a little piece of it, and then we all gonna be hungry, still feeling unfulfilled. Because at the end of the day, it's, role models are there for leadership and for validation. That's one of the core needs of human interaction is validation. Regardless of how much money you make, regardless of how much attention you get, regardless of what your goals are. If you accomplish it, but you don't feel validated or you don't get that validation from it, you're going to continue to be lost, which is why the poorest of people and the richest of people feel the same pain, tormented, uncomfortable in their situation because resources don't validate. Role models and support validate. Humans validate other humans. You don't need to be someone's husband or wife. You don't have to be a mother or father or grandparent. Just being a concerned and supportive individual gives credence to your opinion and your perspective becomes important. Somebody that shows love, even when it's tough love, somebody that is in the corner of others. Their perspective is always respected because not only are you willing to validate others, but you're willing to help people accomplish the necessary steps to earn that validation. Because, folks, unpopular opinion alert, folks, it's not about love, it's not about accomplishment, it's not about experiences, it's not about resources. Human behavior and interaction isn't about any of those things. Human behavior and interaction is about validation, being validated, my existence being validated, my experience, my perspective being validated, me being here being validated. But you need role models for that. You need people who you hold in high esteem, who you respect, and who you know respect you. The world isn't in a terrible place. The world isn't much different than it was 100 years ago. Technology might change, humans don't. What about evolution? We still wired the same. Still go through the same 3 cycles. Born, we reproduce, we die. And along that line, that curved line, along that process, folks want to be validated, need to be validated, have to be validated. When you don't get that, you got that feeling of emptiness. And from that emptiness comes pessimism. And then you get people pulling back, not wanting to support others, just being stiff. And that's how you end up in a world with no role. So it's really as simple as it sounds, guaranteed. If you influence the people that you know by being supportive and demanding, not just demanding that they support in return. Even if it's not the world, if it's not the country, it's not the state, just watch how your specific environment changes. If everywhere you go, you're supporting others and they're supporting you. All it takes is role models, man. And it's not an age restriction. It's not a you have to be 80 to be a role model of 20. No, no matter what your age is, you can motivate and you can validate. Take the day, man. Figure out where you can be better at, how you can be more supportive, even if it's just giving kind words, if it's being present, giving time, energy, effort, thought, resources, whatever it is. How can you be more supportive to everybody around you? And how can you demand they be more supportive of you? That's simple. But you gotta agree with me. Think about it for yourself. Have a conversation with the people that you're around. Hell, send the comments in if you disagree vehemently, but disagree and put your own perspective into it. Don't be the type to disagree just to be disagreeable. Don't teach people to argue just to be argumentative. Because then your intent is just being negative and pessimistic. Your intent is to sully the enjoyment and invalidate the experience of others. You can never be validated through invalidation of others. Not how it works. Give your opinion, give your perspective, disagree with intellect instead of emotion or ego. And you be a role model right now. Don't even have to see things through the same lens. Don't have to share the same perspective or anything. Just being the best version of yourself and being supportive of others trying to do the same. Easy. But again, what I know. I'll holler at y'all next time, man. On another episode of No Cap. Yeah.
Yeah.